Good. Have a good day. You're dismissed. Goodbye.
What up, y'all? Hello, hello, hello. What's up, Hippie? How you doing, buddy? Haven't seen you in a while. Just seen you pop up there. I have another screwed up story of cruel and unusual punishment, deprivation of rights. Again, these power driven people that like fully cop Reeves on this guy immediately, forthwith. I don't understand for the life of me why anybody would do that, but unfortunately, here, yeah, I should have left that alone. Let me see. Excuse me a second. I'm having an issue here. Yeah. So, all right, cool. One of my speakers are not working on here, having some technical difficulties. But anyway, to make a long story short, the canine was released upon this black man that was surrendering after being pulled over for not having a mud flap. Can you believe it? A pretextual stop. They continue to surround this guy. So you had Circleville police and state troopers surround this guy, right? And they got guns drawn over a mud flap. Just to remind you, it's a pretextual stop. Nothing big. You didn't commit a crime. And they got and they have guns drawn on them. And a Circleville police officer tells this state trooper, do not release the dog. Hot off the press. I have, let's see. Let's just bring this up real quick. And I will play this for you. Listen to this crap.
Welcome back. The police chief in Circleville, Ohio, says that the officer involved who released a canine police dog on an unarmed black man has now been put on paid administrative leave. The chief said that the leave was part of the process of its investigation.
Hold up a second. I'm having technical difficulties with my I don't understand why the speaker is being used. Stand by. It's supposed to be in the system, not being used on the USB speakers. There you go. Maybe that's it. Okay.
Added that
okay, that's it. Okay, cool. Sorry about that, guys. Little technical difficulties, a little early in the morning. I'll start this right from the beginning because I don't think you guys was having good audio there. Honestly, I don't think there was good audio on that. So let's just play it over.
Ohio says that the officer involved who released a canine police dog on an unarmed black man has now been put on paid administrative leave. The chief said that the leave was part of the process of its investigation. He also added that the Use of Force Review Board is now looking at the incident. I want to bring in CNN's Isabel Rosales. She is in Circleville, Ohio. Isabel, what can you tell us? What's the latest here?
Hey, Rahel, good morning to you. Right. So this all started on July 4th. We know this from a case report released by the Ohio State Highway Patrol. And this started with a motor carrier enforcement inspector who noticed Jadarius Rose driving in the semi who had a missing mud flap, a missing rear mud flap. So he tries to pull him over, but Rose, according to the case report, and we see in the video, does not stop. So he calls for backup, and then a chase ensues. At some point, stop sticks are used, and we do eventually see Rose coming to a stop and then continuing on. And that is when he gets on the phone with 911. We hear him talking to a dispatcher saying that he feels unsafe stopping because the officers had him surrounded with guns.
So that makes perfect sense to me, ladies and gentlemen. I would have to say I would probably feel, if I was him, and knowing how unarmed black people constantly get shot in this state, let alone in this country, I probably wouldn't have felt safe either. Wherefore, it would have put me right on the phone with 911 saying, why are these people stopping me with guns? And I have done nothing wrong as a person with a clear conscience, right? Because he did try to stop, but he had like 4 or 5 guns pressed on him. Watch this, guys. This is stupid.
That he didn't know why they were attempting to stop him in the first place. Eventually, he does finally stop. He gets out of the car with his hands up. He's again surrounded.
Watch this part right
and
here.
we hear a state trooper not only giving him commands, but also to a different officer.
Look, he surrendered right there. He's got his hands up, right? A watch. And then this trooper over here, this Circleville police officer says, don't release that dog to the state troopers that are over here. This cop right here tells these people over here, do not release that canine.
Officer for the Circleville Police Department telling him, hey, do not release that dog while Rose's hands are up.
See that? His hands are up. He is fully in compliance.
Despite those repeated warnings, and it's not clear here if that state trooper was heard, the officer...
Doesn't matter if he's hurt or not. He's got his hands up.
Now know is Ryan Speakman does release the dog. Watch.
See that? So now he's getting mauled, okay, which is assault with intent to do great bodily harm less than the crime of murder. Okay, and several different other felony assaults, including felonious assault and special assault with special circumstances. In the state of Ohio, they have that, which is an aggravated assault, basically. Now there's the puppy that attacked his ass.
We do have Mitchell Christian, who is a canine expert. He's a certified police instructor who reviewed the video of that dog being sent out to Rose, and he told us what his thoughts were about that video with his professional eye. Listen.
So with that there, in that position to deploy the dog, it's probably not a good decision to be made there, because
there you go. He's using the words in his English, decision. No, it wasn't a good act, period. It didn't call for it. That's what he's saying. It did not call for it because the guy was in surrender mode and he was doing what he was told from that point on.
the guy was clearly on his knees, hands were up.
How egregious is it, in your opinion?
It's pretty bad.
There you go. You got a canine master handler that has a badge in the state of Ohio that is saying that is egregious.
It's pretty bad. It's not indicative.
Bootlickers, what are you going to say about this one? You think that's okay? It's that blue line because a cop gets really pissed off when you don't stop. And everybody wants to use their tools in their belt, including a canine cop was like, darn, missed all the fun. and used this as an excuse anyways to let the dog go and attack. This is bullcrap. That cop should be fired and brought up on charges, and that dog should be euthanized. Yep. It should be euthanized because it's a danger to society, because it's listening to criminals, because that was a criminal action. Therefore, that cop is a criminal. He's no longer a cop. He's a damn criminal. So that dog, just like any other criminal and his dog, they would euthanize it or shoot it on sight.
To what a canine handler should do in that scenario, to be honest. It's not good. It's not a good look for the handlers out there.
What do you mean it's not a good look? I didn't hear him say anything about the poor victim. This was over a mud flap, ladies and gentlemen. They pulled this man over because he was missing a left mud flap. And then he gets assaulted by a police officer that has a badge that has a mouth of a form of a canine that attacked him. That's the same thing as getting your ass beat by a cop, but worse, because now you're being your flesh is being penetrated by sharp objects called teeth.
And Christian is a certified police canine instructor, but to be clear, he did not instruct Officer Speakman or the Circleville Police Department. We did also receive a statement from the police chief here, Sean Baer, who says, quote, "We take all such incidents and the actions of our officers very seriously. Right now, the actions of that officer is under review by a use of force review board. Those findings are expected to be out the week of July 31st. Rahel.
Isabel, great to have you. I mean, I appreciate the context that this person, this trainer that you spoke to, was not necessarily connected to the police department.
And I hate how lamestream media, I'm going to point out another factor here, how they always kind of leave a room for an excuse. Maybe the cop didn't hear. Well, let me just fill you in on the facts. When this officer was trained, when you have a surrendering subject, you don't release your guns, you don't release your tasers, you don't fire your weapons, and you sure as hell don't release a canine. My God, that's common effing sense. You don't need another cop. It doesn't matter if the cop said anything. If anything, it just adds more substance because it adds to the training that they all have. Don't release the dog. He's surrendering.
But great nonetheless, because I think the question beyond just did the officer hear what the trooper said when he said, do not release the dog with his hands up, was the question of, well, what is the standard for releasing a canine dog? Isabel Rosales, great to have you. Thank you. John.
This morning, police searching the home.
Anyway, I think we've seen enough of that. So we got the facts, and the facts show us that the poor truck driver was definitely abused by state troopers and Circleville police in the state of Ohio, and all of them that were there, especially the one. I would love to hear what the one that actually gave that directive to that canine officer, do not release that canine, and then him releasing it. I would like to hear what it is that he had to say about it. Hey, the dog opened the door by himself, Lee. The dog opened the door. He took his paw and literally turned the knob. He's smart, man. And he came and laid down next to Daddy. My dog opens doors. Isn't it awesome? Anyway, he just takes his paws and like pushes and just came in and laid down. Oh, I love it. I love it. Anyway, that's a smart dog right there. At least he ain't out biting people for nothing, right? At least he's using his brain for the good and not hurting people, thank God. And anyway, I'll tell you what, if my dog ever got a hold of that German Shepherd, look up what a Presa Canario is. He takes on wolves in Spain. My dog would eat that dog alive. He would keep him alive just to torment him and fucking tear his freaking hind legs right out underneath his ass. I love it. I love it. I love it. So my point being, guys, is that we have these situations that that unfold, and we know for a fact that it is in their training. When somebody is surrendering, do not discharge your firearm. Do not discharge your freaking zapper, or better known as a taser. Do not release any type of deterrent that would aggravate or exacerbate the situation, let alone a dog. That wasn't needed at the time. So we're going to get some comments from the chat real quick. Patrick Tracy, what's up? Wondering Hippie, what's up, brother? It's good to see you. Jones, yeah, they're cowards, definitely, for sure. Acting themselves as usual. He pulled over. They pointed guns, no reason. He ran away. I would too. Patrick, you were exactly right. Yeah. I'll be damned if I wouldn't, especially being a man of color with a bunch of white cops. You guys seen me, Joe Cool, and what's his name? Freaking media. We all went down there and put them bitches in their freaking place because, you know, they're hyperactive. They're very passive aggressive, and they think they own you. They think once they have the cherries and berries on, if you don't comply, they're going to get you to comply in any way they can, and they will hurt you using force and intimidation. I haven't seen this. Yeah, I had to do a story on it as soon because nobody else did. So, you know, Wolvie always does the ones that people don't do. Or do. I don't care. I don't run my channel by anybody else's. I run it off the information that I feel like doing it on. And it's worth my time to share with my subscribers that are dedicated to the truth that we know as the 1A community. And we know that in journalism, there's a lot of stories that are very truthful and downright despicable, and this was, like the officer said, egregious. And because of that egregious behavior, we have a man in a hospital that's mauled, or he's sitting in a jail cell because they gaslit him because you know that's how they roll, you know. Love you too, for sure. What Hippie, it's common for us to do 50 on a weekend. Gotcha. What's Hippie talking about? Hold on, let me see. The dog, let's see. The dog does what he's told. My blame falls on the. Yeah, but dig this though. Let's talk about this for a second, Hippie. If you had a criminal that was selling crack or whatever the bootlicker decided that was the crime that they called in, and this dog was there to protect this criminal, what would they have done to him? Well, it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander, don't you think? This dog assaulted a boss of the police. We are their bosses. So we're hiring command. So you're look at yourself as a higher officer than they are, because if you're not committing a crime, you're their boss. So he's a taxpayer. Obviously, he's working for commerce, right? And he's a very highly respected person in society that travels from origin to destination with all our goods. So we entrust him to do that. And so he's a steward above them. So what would happen if my dog attacked a commanding officer? They would shoot him if I was committing a crime. Like I said, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I'm starting to think this way. I have to. I have to. An eye for an eye, man. Revenge is not what we're talking about here. It's control and perception. And if you don't start taking back the authority, this will happen more, because they did that in Germany. That's why they're called German Shepherds. My God. They sicked a German Shepherd on an unarmed man that was surrendering. There's no excuse for that. That dog, he's been trained wrong. He's a threat to society, and he needs to go down. I love animals. Trust me, I have animals. I have a dog. If my dog ever bit somebody in the wrong, I'm going to euthanize him. I'll tell you that right now. He's going down. I love him, but I don't have that much loyalty for him as I do the human race. And we are above them, especially if you're innocent. If you are innocent and you've done nothing wrong, and my dog bites you for absolutely no reason other than to hurt you, for no reason at all, he's got to go. And any of you love your dog that much to where you would put it over an innocent person's safety, I would question your integrity as well. Because that means you have no integrity, in my opinion. That's just my opinion, though. All right. See you later, buddy. It's good to see you. God bless. Thanks for coming. Let me know in the comments, guys, what you think about what you just seen. Wolverine's going back right reading the mail for show. Have a good day. Happy Monday, everybody. GB.